Thank you for having me here today. I love what you guys are doing at MG Developers. I love everything about the Gables, and I'm excited for us to have a conversation today.
Yeah, I was really impressed when Brian came over. We had the presentation here at Alhambra for his office, and he mentioned all these statistics and numbers and just how what everything is happening in the Gables. It was all very exciting. And I said, you know what, we need to sit down and broadcast this to our followers, to Miami. We're both Miami natives, so it's a great conversation that we're really going to have today.
I have brought all of the numbers today, so we're going to talk some really good stuff. There's amazing things happening in the North Gables, and super excited to share it with you
Right.
guys today.
Numbers don't lie, right?
Most of the time, most of the time, the
Most of the
numbers
time.
don't lie.
Yeah.
And the numbers for the North Gables is amazing, especially for condos, which MG Developer is building this amazing building behind us, Alhambra Park, right?
Right.
Condo sales in the Gables so far this year, they're up 56%,
Wow.
which is amazing, especially when you consider that sales across Miami condos are down 15%. So across the rest of Miami, condo sales are down 15%, but in the North Gables, they're up 55%.
Wow.
And one of the reasons that's happening is because the price point is relatively affordable for the amazing lifestyle that you get here in the North Gables. The average condo sale this year is only 800,000, compared to almost 900,000 across Miami and almost 2 million in places like Coconut Grove.
Right.
And so you get all the walkability, all the great shopping, entertainment, and you're still at a relatively affordable price point, which is why sales are up 55%, where the rest of the condo markets in Miami are all falling.
Right. Yeah. I also think we satisfy a need in the market right now. Being in this price point, there's nothing really new in Coral Gables. So this will be Alhambra Park, will be MG Developers' 10th project in Coral Gables in 10 years. So we have a great reputation, we have a great track record. And we're offering that solution for residents that are maybe tired of renting, maybe a little bit tired of the older buildings. You know, the older buildings have now these assessments in place. And so I think now people are starting to really be more open to Coral Gables, especially North Gables. You know, now we have Michelin restaurants in the area. You know, we have Bouchon right across the street. We have Shingo, which just got, I think, a Michelin or something like that the other day. And then, you know, Mr. O1 is opening right next to
I
it.
heard Mr. O1 was coming to the Gables.
So I think it's very exciting. All those things, plus dining now, things we never used to have before.
The Gables really is an amazing lifestyle. I told you that before I got married and started having children, I lived in the Gables. My friends and I just absolutely loved walking to brunch on the weekends, dinners at night, being able to pick up stuff at the little markets. And my youngest is going to be graduating in 4 years, and I'll be an empty nester.
Ooh.
And what am I going to do? I'm coming back to the Gables. I'm really leaning towards maybe buying something at Alhambra Park. It's the perfect project, the perfect timing, the perfect price point for someone like me.
Yeah, leaning. We need to get this deal signed with Brian.
Oh, well,
We got a hot lead over here.
you know, there's other great projects like the Village that you guys are doing. And of course, I just love your townhouses. That's how I first came to know MG Developers. Your just spectacular, beautiful townhomes, although they're a little big for what I need at this point in my life, which is why I think,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is such a great project. So tell me a little more about
Yeah.
Alhambra Park.
Yeah, what's also nice about this project is that you don't really ever have to leave it. It was really designed to be a community in itself. So we have 15 feet high retail spaces. So I think that's very exciting how it's really the epitome of live, work, and play, as you have a wine shop, an art gallery, a restaurant, 20,000 square feet of amenities, a rooftop pool, two penthouses, a nice event pavilion that you can easily rent out. And then, you know, right across the street, you have more office space available. So you can really walk everywhere. Across the street, you have Coral Gables Prep. Maybe not for you anymore, but maybe for other families now that have some young children. We have about 5, 6 schools in the area too. Something important to note is how close we are to the airport. like
super close. It's
super
right
close,
down the street,
super
right?
close.
One street, two turns, you're
Literally
at the
there.
airport.
And if you catch the early flights, you're there in literally 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. And I think that's really important too. And for those that are not empty nesters yet or about to be, University of Miami is 7 minutes away. 7 minutes. I clocked it.
And of course, you're super close to the Grove. You're super close to downtown, Brickell, Miami Beach, Key Biscayne. Coral Gables really is one of the most centrally located communities in all of Southeast Miami. And the thing I love the most about it is it's really one of the very few urban village towns that we have in Miami. You know, we don't have too many places where you can walk
Right.
to so many things and live and walk and school and work all in the same area. Like where I live in Pinecrest is an amazing lifestyle, but we're not walking to restaurants and to the gym, you know, and to shops.
Right.
And even in many other communities, South Miami, you just don't have this type of
Right.
really urban village lifestyle.
Right. And the other, let's say, urban village lifestyle would be, I would say, maybe Brickell, but that's really a concrete jungle, and it's great. It's great for those who love it. I always say whenever I do want that Brickell vibe, I'm about 10, 15 minutes away. But to live in Brickell is different than visiting Brickell. And so I feel Coral Gables is capturing everything you need in one community. Like I like Coconut Grove too, but you don't have that many options as for gyms, Pilates, nail salons, dry cleaning. You don't really have many options. And I lived in the Grove for many years, so I know exactly what it was like. When I moved to the Gables, all of a sudden I have 5 nail salons, 5 Pilates priorities, 5 Pilates, 5 different banks. It was just you just have a lot more at your disposal now.
You know, people think Brickell is the ultimate urban, you know, lifestyle. But to be honest, Brickell is very long. There's no single concentration of stuff except around, the mall,
Right.
which is a different feel
Right.
than having the open space you have in the Gables. But everything is within what, like an 8 block,
Right.
radius here in the Gables. And so there's really not that many other places in all of Miami like it. What's the price point on Alhambra Park here?
Yes, the price point we start at 1 million. $1 million,
A million.
$1 million.
Wow.
We have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. Every unit comes with a half bath, so every unit has a powder room. Every unit also has a summer kitchen. So a lot of value here.
Summer kitchen.
Yeah, summer
I
kitchen.
love that.
Up to 10-foot ceilings. A very famous thing that our developer does is creates these indoor outdoor concepts with the balcony. The doors completely open up, so you have this beautiful indoor
Love
outdoor
that.
space. So every unit really feels like a true home. So without having to leave the complex, you have all these opportunities at your disposal as well.
And then next door, across the street, on the block behind, just more and more and more. I'm not sure what that is, but I like doing it.
I thought we were going to talk.
So I'm going to share some interesting stats with you
Okay.
about the Gables. I prepared a lot of very interesting stats for everybody who's watching. Right now, to start the year, from January through the middle of April, the average condo sale, as I mentioned, is about $800,000 in the North Gables, compared to just under 900,000 across all of Miami. What's interesting is that you can get a condo right now in the Gables for 70% less than what the homes in the North Gables are selling for.
Wow.
So condos right now are priced about 70% less than a single family home. So for the same lifestyle that everybody's paying 2.5, 3.5, $4 million to buy homes to enjoy, you can get a condo for 700,000, 800,000, even a brand new condo for $1 million, and enjoy
Right.
all that same lifestyle. Prices for condos in the North Gables are up 9% so far this year. So even as the overall market in Miami has softened a bit, condo sales remain strong
Right.
in the North Gables. The number of sales is up, as I said, 55%. That's compared to a 15% decrease in
Wow.
sales across Miami. and prices are up 9%. So as the rest of Miami is kind of taking a breather and adjusting from just 4 or 5 years of amazing, hyper growth, the North Gables is still going strong. And again, it's because of the combination of the amazing lifestyle, the the really fantastic central location to everything, and the relative affordability
Right.
compared to every other similar upper end neighborhood in Miami.
Yeah. I also feel like the North Gables is almost like a hidden gem. There's been a big focus on South Gables, but North Gables, Target, we have a Target there now. We have one of my favorite coffee shops, Tinta y Cafe. There's a couple other developments coming up. So Ponce de Leon is really, really growing here. So I feel like Coral Gables is almost kind of just getting started. We have Apple, we have FIFA now, we have all these big names. We have Michelin chefs and Michelin restaurants in the area, which we never used to have before. Bucan from Palm Beach is opening up a
Yep.
Miracle Mile. Melting Pot is opening up again on Miracle Mile.
Melting pot.
Remember those days?
Boy, that brings back memories from high school dates, right?
I don't know. I don't think I was around yet.
Oh, ha. And what's so amazing and true about what you just said is that everybody looks at how much growth Miami's experienced over the last 5 and 10 years, and how prices have gone through the roof over the last 5 and 10 years. But as you just said, the best is yet to come. We're just really at our infancy.
Yep.
And what seems expensive for those of us who have been in Miami for so long, when you compare it to other major cities like New York and Chicago and Boston and London, Miami is still really, really affordable, especially when you're talking about a brand new construction condo starting at
Yeah.
just $1 million right in the heart of everything that
Right.
Coral Gables has to offer.
Yeah. I also am starting to see some inter-Miami migration, and
Mhm.
I mean, New England area, New York, Connecticut, has always been a big feeder market here. But I'm also starting to see now like Key Biscayne coming over, Edgewater coming
Yep.
over. I think people during COVID moved down here, right? And they established themselves. They got to feel Miami. And then now they're like, we love the Gables. So we're starting to see that those buyers coming in. Our record-breaking sale at the Village, the one for 4.8, the villa, corner villa, they were from New York and they were seeking Palm Beach or Coral
Yep.
Gables. So we're finally in those conversations, which I think we never used to have. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that as time goes, as the city grows.
I think too that you're starting to attract people who, when they were younger, were in Edgewater and Midtown and Brickell, and now that they're starting to, get a little older, um, getting married, thinking about maybe having kids, they're moving to the Gables because of it all that it offers, for
Yeah.
that next phase in
Yeah.
life compared to some of those, more party
Yeah.
places. Not that there's not a ton of fun to be had
Everywhere.
here in the Gables. That's when we do our little shake, shake, shake. Some other really interesting condo stats, and then I have some great stats on townhomes and single family homes
Let's
too.
hear them.
Um, the number of new listings for condos in the Gables are only up 3% this year.
Mm,
And that's important because across Miami, condo listings are up 12%. So if you remember, across Miami, condo sales were down 15%, but the number of new listings are up 12%. So you've got 15% fewer condos selling and 12% more condos being listed for sale. And so inventory is continuing to increase across Miami. But in North Gables, it's completely the opposite.
so low,
What you see is a 55% increase in the number of sales
right?
and only a 3% increase in the number of new listings. And so we're going to run out of stuff to sell, and that's going to keep prices strong
Yeah.
and demand strong in the Gables. And that's why
Right.
smart, savvy developers like MG Developer
Yeah.
are building these great new projects to meet that demand.
Yeah. And smart, savvy brokers selling them to their clients, especially that we're in a reservation stage right now, friends and family pricing. So, right now is the lowest tiered pricing that we'll ever have. So, considering what you're saying with low inventory, sales up, the only way to go is up.
The only way to go is up. Right now, North Gables has what I like to refer to as a list to sell ratio of 1.7. And this is a really important metric that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And it tells us where inventory is likely to go moving forward. So that means for every condo that's sold so far this year in the North Gables, we only listed 1.7 new ones to replace those.
Wow.
And so anything really under a 1.8 means that inventory is going to hold steady. When we look at Miami overall, there's a 3.8 list to sell ratio. So that means across Miami, for every condo that's sold to start this year, we listed almost 4 new condos. So the inventory of condos across Miami is going to keep going up, and it's probably going to go up faster and faster. If you sell one and put 4 back on, and you sell one and you put 4 back on, that adds up pretty quickly. But here in the North Gables, we've got low inventory, we've got booming sales, and we have a very small number of new properties hitting the market because the people who live here, they don't want to move. They
No.
can't
No.
replace this lifestyle
No.
anywhere else for anywhere near this value
Yeah.
and price.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Especially what I like about our building is that we have something for everyone. So those that were starting a new chapter, getting married, having children, we offer, kids areas, kids pools, a pet-friendly park, And then for our other buyer that's I think seeking to downsize and upgrade, I like to say,
That's me.
Brian, we also offer that convenience of having a 24-hour concierge. We have the amenities, we have the restaurants right in our building. We're going to have a wine shop, an art gallery. So I think it also satisfies both buyers, both sets of buyers. In addition to that, sometimes I think it might be hard to sell like a 5,000 square foot house and downsize into like a 1,500 square foot condo. I really like our floor plans because they're really easy to combine. So we can easily
Yeah,
make
I want one of these corners.
corners.
Yes.
We just sold one of the corners and they combined 2 units to create a 3,800 square foot condo
Wow.
with this huge terrace. So I really like how we have from 1 bedrooms to 3 plus penthouses combinations. So something for everyone.
What's your favorite part about working with MG developers?
Um, it's a very family environment, So if you have any concerns or questions, you're really just a call away. It's a very open door vibe here. I also think being in Coral Gables, I love Coral Gables so much. I'm a resident of Coral
You walk
Gables.
to work,
I walk. I almost walk to work. It's kind of hot outside. Like
got your heels
no, there's
on.
no way. But it's about a 1 minute car ride to the Gables, And he's a very philanthropic
Mhm.
man, so he's very well respected in the community. And Coral Gables is a very hyper local community. It's a little
Yes.
different than Miami Beach, that is very transient. We have a lot of investors, and here's more. It's very end user. It's very I'm here forever. I'm here generational.
Right.
Coral Gables makes 100 years this year.
Yes, it does. That's
100
right. The
years.
centennial this year.
Centennial, it's a big deal. So not many other towns and neighborhoods in South Florida can say that.
And couple last stats on condos. Right now, there's 108 condos for sale, and that's only 6 months of inventory. So it's
Wow.
a little technical, but what we say is that 6 to 9 months of inventory is a balanced market. When there's 6 to 9 months of inventory of properties, then buyers and sellers are kind of evenly matched. But when there's less than 6 months, there's not a whole lot out there. So buyers have to be more aggressive to get the one of the few
Right.
available properties that's still on the market. But when there's more than 9 months, then there's a lot, and buyers have a lot of choice, and they like to take their time. And the buyers have more power. But here in the North Gables for condos, only 6 months of current inventory. Although we are starting to see a shift. Um, uh, a lot with some of the older buildings that are being replaced by
Right.
great new stuff like Alhambra Park. So the average condo in the North Gable has been on the market for 154 days, which is starting to get up there in terms of how long condos are sitting waiting to sell. The best condos, the biggest ones, the newest ones, the best price ones, they're selling super quick. But
Right.
the older ones, the smaller ones, the ones that are overpriced are sitting on the market, and 31% of all of the condos currently for sale have already been reduced at least once. So you're starting to see some of those sellers, again, with the smaller, older product, starting to get a little more aggressive on price to get those condos moved.
Yeah, I do think that's like a common shift in all of South Florida, especially like the beach too. I just feel people want new and they don't want to deal with the assessments and the construction and they don't want to deal with those things. I think if you compare like the HOAs are very close in price at this point
Yeah.
with new construction and what's current, 10, 15, 20 years old. And so I think sellers are like, why am I going to continue living here when I can just upgrade?
Right. And a lot of the gables, for those of us who have been around and are familiar, are 2 and 3 story, very old,
Right.
buildings that those are the ones that are primarily being replaced. And those are the ones that are primarily sitting on the market for
Right.
longer. Um, the newer stuff, the bigger condos are flying off the
Right.
shelves. And the gables is going to remain a very, very strong market for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is my name is
My name is,
yeah.
my name is, my name is.
My name is Bana Fakori. I'm in-house sales for MG Developer. I'm selling Alhambra Park, the village at Coral Gables. I'm with One Sotheby's International Realty. I have been selling real estate for almost 14 years now. Time
Isn't that
flies.
amazing?
Time flies. I have a little huge party once 15 years come. I'll invite you. We'll have a B&B show party. But I sell, luxury new development sales. I winning an award next week, I think, for One Sotheby's. Yeah. Number
Right.
12, number 12 agent. Yeah, out of 1,500 agents. Oh,
Which is impressive. We were at Sotheby's for a long time,
yeah, that's
and
right.
there are some really big heavy hitters
Yeah.
there. So to be, number 12 that's the real deal.
Yeah, I call it being a big fish in a big pond.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And
Sorry.
you guys have a fantastic team here
Yeah.
at MG
Yeah.
Developers. Your sales team is amazing. Annie just walked in. We love her.
She's
Give
great.
her a plug. Ah, she loves us too. And let's see what other interesting stuff we can share with everybody. So homes in the Gables. We talked a lot about condos. Well, let's talk a little bit about homes, because the homes are in part driving condo and townhome sales, because the average home is selling for over $2.6 million right now in the Gables. And, not everybody can afford a $2.6 million house. And
Right.
that's what's making these newer condos at a million and a half, 1.9 million, so much more attractive. Home prices in the North Gables, get this, up 45% this year. 45% increase in home prices in the North Gables to start this year. I mean, that's a phenomenal, improvement, especially given the last 4 or 5 years of hyper growth. Home prices are up 178%
Wow.
since COVID. So they've almost doubled
Right.
in just the last 5 years, and yet they're up another 45% this year. But sales are down. So whereas condo sales were up 55% in the North Gables, home sales were down 6% in the North Gables. Again, as things get more and more expensive, when prices have nearly doubled in 5 years,
Yeah.
fewer and fewer people can afford those, and that's why fewer and fewer single family homes are selling, and more condos and townhomes are selling because they're more affordable,
Yeah.
and you still get all of that amazing
Yeah.
North Gables lifestyle.
Yeah, I definitely am seeing a trend of people considering condos that never in their whole lives thought they would want to. And now they're considering going vertical and having that nice Coral Gables downtown feel.
Yep.
The locals love it and the New Yorkers love it, because they're used to it. They're used to the condo life. They're used to not having massive terraces. They're used to, so we're also seeing international interest as well, because Coral Gables has a nice architecture, the nice European,
City
Mediterranean,
beautiful.
the Spanish feel to it. So we've already, the Coral Gables is actually, we have sister cities in Spain.
I did not know
I
that.
think it's Malaga, Sevilla, a couple of sister cities. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Guatemala has a sister city too. We have, I think, 24 consulates in Coral Gables too.
Wow. Well, that
Yeah,
I knew we had a couple,
yeah,
but
24.
amazing.
Yeah, so I think we're
Can you name all of them?
not right now.
How many can you name? Let's see how many she can name. I know you
Um,
can do one.
we have Guatemala.
Okay.
We have Spain.
Two.
We have Ecuador, I
Ooh,
believe.
go
Yeah, I think we have
Ecuador.
Venezuela. I think so.
We're top. Finish it off with top five. You got it. No one's gonna know if you just guess. So
Let's say, oh, I think we also have Costa Rica, was it? I think
Costa
so.
Rica, top
Yeah.
five, top five embassies in Coral
I'm just like
Gables.
naming countries that I want to go to.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, couple last stats while we're here and enjoying some geekdom. It's one of my favorite things to
Geekdom.
do.
I like that word,
I love
geekdom.
geeking out on the numbers. Um, right now, 37% of all the single family homes on the market have already been reduced.
Right.
And for those homes that have been on the market for 90 days or longer, which is over 40% of the listings, uh, 54% have been reduced.
Mm.
So again, the best houses, the best locations, the newest, most updated, best price, they're selling very quickly and at record prices. But the rest of the houses are sitting for longer and longer as prices have gone through the roof. And sellers are now starting to adjust a little and reduce their prices. But there's still only 7 months of inventory of homes in the Gables. And remember that 6 to 9 months is a balanced market. So both condos and single family homes in the Gables, right in that still a seller's market, just entering balanced market territory, very healthy, especially compared to what's happening in the rest of Miami, which is a more aggressive and more rapid softening and
Yeah.
slowing down from, again, it's just been 5 crazy
Yeah.
years, here
I
in
was gonna
Miami.
say that. I feel like I'm very excited for this little shift that's coming. I think it's necessary. I think a lot of buyers have been, on the sidelines, kind of waiting to get back in
Right.
the game. People are starting to realize, the amount of work, construction costs, all these costs start to add up, and so at some point prices have to adjust. And so I think it's necessary, especially in the Gables, to see a bit of an adjustment.
Well, it's going to bring in a whole new wave of
Right.
buyers. And this is how the universe works, right?
Right.
Things go up, they settle. It takes a minute to settle in, get used to that level, and then things go up again. And
Right.
that's the cycle that we're in right now. Looking last at townhomes, and I don't have a whole lot of data on townhomes because there's not many people who want to sell their Gables townhomes. Once you have one of those amazing, Almeria Row, Biltmore Row, MG developer townhomes, you're not
No.
selling it because you simply cannot
No.
replace that anywhere else in Miami. So right now, the average price of a townhome in North Gables is over $2.5 million. Which doesn't sound like a lot compared to some of the brand new awesome MG developer townhomes that are in the high threes, fours, and fives, like the one you sold, in the village recently. But when you take into account that a lot of those are older,
Right.
smaller townhomes that were built in the 90s and early 2000s, that the average price of a townhouse is 2.5 million is amazing. In the Grove right now, the average townhouse is 1.5 million.
Wow.
So it's $1 million more
Yeah.
to get a townhouse in North Gables than in Coconut Grove, which is, one of the most expensive neighborhoods in all of Miami.
Right.
That's how in demand townhouses are. And that's why you guys built,
Right.
the village, and you just sold a big townhouse, didn't you?
It was a villa close, but similar product. We have about 8 townhomes left in the village. And I love that. It's MJ Developers kind of signature product. I was gonna say we probably built like half of the
Yeah, at
townhomes
least.
in Coral Gables. So our townhomes in the village are 3 stories, a 2-car garage with an elevator and a summer kitchen and a secondary terrace. And our corner townhomes have another terrace on the primary bedroom as well. So you have this like unbelievable space, almost 3,200 square feet,
I love them.
4 bedrooms. It's like these little mini homes, really, but in a development that's so close to everything. It's like 2 minutes from all the golf courses. We have major hospitals in the area as well. We also have this amazing Baptist Health partnership now for our villas and our townhome buyers. So that's something to
Yeah.
consider. It's like, if reach out for more information. So, we have those townhomes available starting around 4 million. So they're exciting.
And it's interesting that you say starting around 4 million, because the average townhome for sale right now in the North Gables is 3.3 million, and those aren't brand new. So
Right.
you guys are building an awesome brand new product. I just
Yeah.
love the design and the style and the vibe of the village. But you can get a brand new one
Right.
for almost the same price as
Yes.
people are reselling older, townhomes,
Right.
which is it's amazing.
And the townhomes will have a gas stove, wolf, sub-zero, high ceilings. We're gonna have engineered wood oak floors, quartzite. We have, travertine. We have all these amazing finishes in these townhomes too that will be very costly to replace and to do these older townhomes to make them into that. So I think 4 million gets you a lot in our development.
4 million gets you a lot. The last stat I'll share, I shared a lot of stats today. I know it makes our heads spin a little, but it's interesting to get the context and perspective of what's going on overall in
Yeah.
Miami and how North Gables is doing so well compared to the rest of Miami. There are a lot of pending sales right now,
Okay.
and pending sales are the most current important indicator of how the market is, because a lot of these closed sales we're talking about, they closed in January and in February, and for something that closed in January, it might have got under contract in October or
Right.
November. So that was a different market back then. But there are 33 single family homes currently under contract in the North Gables, at an average price of about 2.28 million. So a little under where the sales have been, but still very strong. There's currently 26 condos under contract in the North Gables at an average of 728,000. So again, a little less than the 800,000 average we've been doing. Again, we're taking this breather. Everything is, catching up, but still very, very strong. And if anything, great opportunities for buyers,
Right.
right? People have been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for prices to settle. And now's the time for all those people who tell me every time they come to an open house, every time they
I'm
come to one of my
waiting.
showing,
I'm
every time they
waiting.
call, every time they DM me and they tell me I'm not ready, prices are going to, adjust a little. I'm going to wait for the right time. Well, now's the time.
Right.
So don't wait, because this will not last for long with everything we've been
Right.
talking about.
It's a nice window. It's a nice window of opportunity. Something else to talk about are rentals. They're through
Mhm.
the roof.
Yeah,
I
renting
mean,
is
so we rented a townhome, not this one, another development close by, the one that was built in 2023. They rented for, I think, 24,000. These townhomes,
24,000 a month.
one
300,000 a year to rent.
right. One bedrooms are renting for 4,500 easily in the Gables. These single family homes you can easily fetch starting at 8 to 10, $12,000 now. So
For an older house,
right.
yeah.
And then the newer ones are pulling in 20,000 or so more, 30,000 in High Pines and all in those areas, which, so I think that investors, it's good. And our end users, it's good. Our relocations, it's good. Our empty nesters, downsize and upgrade buyers, it's great. For our starting our young families starting a new chapter in their lives, getting married, having kids, it's also
Yeah.
great. So we really encompass everyone.
The last thing I'll say on the market, and then we'll do our dance again, is that's going to be our signature dance, um, is everybody tries to time the market, right?
Right.
Everybody wants to sell at the top and buy at the absolute bottom. And look, if you're good enough to do that, if you've got a crystal ball and a magic wand, then God bless you. That's amazing, right?
For
It's
the
like trying to
lottery.
time the stock market. Like some people can, but most people
Yeah.
can't. What's more important is time in the market. Back in 2006 when Miami had its, last massive boom, everybody said, it was unsustainable. Prices back then in the Gables, a condo that today is 800,000 was $190,000 back
Right.
then. Who wouldn't have wanted to buy every single condo they could have back in '06 when people thought like the prices were so crazy? Right now, what seems expensive 5, 10, and 15 years from now, is going to seem super affordable and crazy, just like when we look back 5 years ago, 10 years ago from
Right.
now. And so, what's so important is yes, you want to find the right deal, and the right property in the right location that you can see yourself and your family living in for a while, and that gives you the lifestyle you want to enjoy, and you want to make sure you get a fair, good deal on it. But instead of trying to perfectly time the bottom, the top, find the right property in the best location with the best lifestyle you can. And you'll look back in 5 or 10, 15 years, and it's going to have doubled and more. And it will prove to be an amazing, amazing investment.
I agree. And to touch on that, Coral Gables new construction is averaging around 1,300 to about 1,600 price per square foot.
Right.
So we're actually around 1250 right now since it's our lowest tiered pricing. And then, Brickell is around 1,800, 2,000 a square foot
For new
for new
construction.
construction. The beach is pulling in 2,500, 3,000. Four Seasons talk about a 5, 6,000 a square foot. So we are North Bay Village is around
Right.
1,400, 1,500. So we are still the lowest price per square foot for new construction in Coral Gables.
And you get this lifestyle that you don't
Right.
get anywhere
Right.
else,
So
which is what makes it so amazing. This has been great. I really appreciate you having me here. I hope we can do it again.
yeah,
I love the B&B show. I
it
hope you all enjoyed
was good.
our time together. You even got to see me do my ridiculous
I
dance.
got him to dance.
This is about as much as I dance.
We'll see you next
And we
time.
will see you next
Thank
time.
you.